I'm Coach Joey D. Welcome to Coach's Corner. Today we're going to talk about golf-specific stretches for your low back. We've identified that you are one of these players that just either has chronic, back tightness or back pain. So let's get the first important thing out of the way. I am not your orthopedic surgeon or your physical therapist, but I am here to tell you that over 23 years working at the highest level of golf, we've had an opportunity to actually come together and create awareness and protocols for you to do things to help you out. And if what we're doing doesn't help, and that stuff just consistently is persistent, go see your doctor and get treatment. But for today, I want you to get on a mat or get on a towel or a carpet with a comfortable surface. And this does require an exercise ball. I'm going to use a 55 centimeter, and I'm going to tell you why it's important. So you go ahead and get your ball, come down on the ground with me, and let's work together. I want to talk you through what's going on. So these are very passive, stretches and their mobility moves. So this doesn't require a lot of effort, but you should pay attention to the technique. And everybody says, Coach, how long, how many? I say, feel is real, do how many you need to do, and I don't know what that number is for you as an individual, right? You can use the number 10 as a baseline. That's too much, you'll know, and if it's too little, you'll know. So what's important about this is that if the ball's too big or inflated too high, you won't be able to get your legs at a 90-degree position. If it's too small, your hips start to get in a position where they're overworked or strained straight away. So get the right size ball for whatever your body needs. And then we want to put our legs at a position, if 12 o'clock in front of you is a clock, your right leg at 2 and your left leg at 10. And we call this a 10-2 roll. The other thing that's important is that you move this ball all the way into your hamstrings and the bottom of your glutes. And really the anchor point is right at the bottom of your Achilles tendon where you actually put some pressure. Don't put too much pressure. You might feel your hamstrings start to lock up, right? So just enough pressure to hold the ball. You want to put your arms out to a comfortable position to anchor your upper body. And then you start slowly rolling from the right to the left. And then you increase your range of motion. Everybody's range of motion is different. Always remember safety first. Don't go too far. Go to the point where you feel a very comfortable stretch. And as you rotate, you start to feel this really good sensation of almost like your back is releasing itself. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create some mobility. This is a great movement to do that. The second thing I want to show you is basically a one leg extended, and it really follows that straight line that you would create in your body from your ankle to your knee to your hip to your shoulder. So if the leg's out too far or it's in and it crosses over the midpoint line of your body, it's not the right position. So just remember, alignment is key. And this sometimes I see people struggle with because if your leg isn't in the right position, you can't get the ball over your opposite leg. So you want to move that back to that 10 o'clock position, have the right amount of load, and watch what happens. You slowly roll it over the opposite leg and stretch to the point that you can go furthest with control. And not only control, making sure that it's not too much stress for the body, but you feel a very comfortable release all the way up your back. You're going to feel it actually in the side of your ribs, all the way up to your chest and shoulders. You might even feel it in your bicep muscles up in your arm. And then I slowly return to the start position, and then it's a repeat, right? So these are two of the great stretches that we use to start off this process of how do I relieve the back, how do I get some relief and mobility. The other thing I like to say is we've got to strengthen at the same time. So while we're down here on the ground, what I want you to do is put your feet on top of the ball, move your arms in close to your body, make sure your head is in a comfortable position and it's secure. You don't want to lift it up. And then from there, all you want to do is take your belt buckle like somebody had a hook in it and it's pulling you up, right? But the way we achieve that to create some opportunity for the back to get stronger and relieve some pain is we want to strengthen the hamstrings, the glutes, and the core. So basically, this is a simple but effective movement to do that. And all you do is you put your back of your heel of your foot and the bottom of your calf muscle on the ball. I say 2 to 3 inches apart, heads down in a secure position, and then just tilt your body up, hold it for a beat, and bring it back down, right? And what do people always say, how many? We talked about that before. This is the same thing. So you want to remember that your hamstrings are very involved in this. So you want to make sure that if your back is hurting or you're not somebody who's a fitness enthusiast or somebody who might have done this many, many times, take your time. Again, it's progressive. Don't do too much right away because you might feel your hamstrings lock up and cramp. That's not what we're looking for, okay? So those are the 3 things that I would start with straight away. The other thing is your hamstring is a big culprit, right? So your hamstrings get tight. What you want to make sure that you do is you take your time in a stretch like this, and you basically want to just flex your knees a little bit and reach down. Sometimes people have no awareness at all, but the hamstrings are very responsible. If they're too tight, they sort of pull you into this posture where you're in this C posture, right? We want to make sure that if your hamstrings are released and they're working and they're activated, they give you an opportunity to have a better upright posture and do their job. So if your hamstrings are tight, there are 2 things I want to share with you that you can do to help your back as a result of tight hamstrings. Basically just knees flexed and toes pulled up off the ground as far down as you can go, and it's a nice slow stretch all the way to the top. Let's just do it one more time. So you make sure that your weight is in your heels, your knees are slightly flexed. You just run your fingers down the front of your legs, out towards your toes if you can reach it, and then all the way back. That's a great hamstring stretch. If you can't do that, remember, you can start off with just as far as you can go. The actual point of what we're doing is we're creating other muscles, giving these muscles the opportunity to activate, work properly to stop that low back pain. And the other thing I like to do is basically, I want to do a leg swing. And leg swings also help the hamstrings, and they just go like a pendulum on a clock, right? So sometimes if you don't have the balance, you just take maybe 2 golf clubs, a broomstick, anything you might have available to keep your balance. But if you do have the proper balance, just swinging that leg helps you to release the hamstring. How many? That's up to you. I just like to say do however many you need until feel becomes real. So those are the things to be aware of. The last thing I like to say is create or mimic your golf swing, but do it without your arms. So you want your back to have this opportunity to feel like, I want to activate and create this mobility. So just creating range of motion is another way to really relieve some back pain, right? And I think that if you take all of the things we've just talked about, there's so many opportunities for us to really help relieve low back pain, but you gotta be aware of what it is. Hamstrings can be a culprit, poor knee flexion, your low back, your abdominals, all of these muscles that may be inactive, not doing their jobs, tend to roll the one leg over, loading your body from that point where your feet are on top of the ball to strengthen the low back, the mid back, the core, the hamstrings, and the glutes, and then, hamstring stretches. Those are great mobility moves and opportunities for you to alleviate back pain. So thanks for joining me today and giving you an opportunity to address your low back issues and hopefully to alleviate everything that you're going through, strengthen your back. Keep in touch with us. Let us know how you're doing. We love to get good feedback, and if we can help further, there's so many opportunities for us to do that. So good luck with these, and I'm pretty sure that once you get going, you're going to enjoy playing a much more pain-free round of golf.